Okay, any second now, my stream should be starting. So, let's see if it works. I see things connecting. Can I share the stream? Let me copy the link to it. And let me put this in a couple places real quick. That way we can get some more people in here. And then I will start answering questions. Put that in the Telegram chat. Pin that so people can see it. And let me put this in the Discord real quick, and then I will check the chat. Click this, make sure that we're getting... It's working. Perfect. Oh, looks like there's people already in the chat. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. I'll start answering questions. Let me just get pulled back up here. And live. Oh, the chat loads slow. Hello, hello, hello. Having fun with Antline video? Yeah, I was putting up a video today about this, and the video messed up like 3 times, so I just took it down now. Yeah, this, for some reason, my capture card is not doing well today. Don't know why. But it is what it is. Is Bayer Dynamic DT990 Pro with FIO E10K a good setup? I don't think so. Not a fan of the 990 Pro or the amp. Sorry. Personal taste. Will I try the new Yamaha? I don't know. Let me look up that exact model number. Let's find out. What do we got going on here? Oh, that's interesting. That's not a terrible price, actually. Let's see. What do we got about this thing? While that's pulling up in another tab, you have the cost KPH30i and 58X. Need a cheapish portable amp for both. Well, lucky for you, you can power those off almost anything. So I wouldn't worry too much about what you're powering them with. You could honestly power both those probably off of a phone. How will this page pull up for these Yamahas? There we go. Headphones that adapt to you and your environment. That's interesting. Wireless noise canceling headphones. They look kind of big. How big are they actually? Okay, that's reasonable. I'll look into those. Those do look interesting. Oh, there's so many of you all at the same time. Stream is lower than the recommended bitrate. Can I raise it? Oh yeah, let's raise that up. Is it working now? Okay. Who did I miss? Am I going to try the GL2000? Yes. Somebody's mailing it to me. It'll take a little time to get here, but I am going to try the double magnet GL2000. Is the Massdrop 4XX a good investment? I mean, it's a fine headphone, especially for its price. I wouldn't complain about it. I mean, yeah, if you don't mind the shape of the pads, that's the only thing I had with them, is it felt like it did like this to me a little bit. But for most people, I think the 4XX is fine. I think it's a decent headphone. You love the background wall? Yeah, I'm gonna do a video about this whole thing I got going on my wall eventually. I just haven't taken the time to really sit down and do it because it takes so much time. Old surround sound amps. Not a ton, but I did mess with this, which is an old thing from Sony that was meant to be a portable, like, theater experience. That was kind of interesting. The PFR V1. Have I come around on the 1770 Pro? Sorry, I have not. I'm still not a fan of them. Well, HG600 in the headphone list. I didn't put 600 in the headphone list, but I probably should. I put in the 6XX as like a coverall for the 600 and the 650. But yeah, we could do that. I could put that in separately. GL2000, yeah, there's a video coming out on that, but I'm not going to rush it. It's going to take a little bit of time. Best close back under 1,000. Oh, I don't know. That's not US currency. That's the hard part. What happened to my latest video? It glitched out several times. The mic worked fine, but the video kept having glitchy audio, and then YouTube messed up the whole back half of it. So, I don't know. Mod Mic Wireless is a great mic. I'd recommend it to people, but YouTube doesn't want me to recommend it to people today for some reason. which beyerdynamic do you recommend? Depends on what you're looking for. I usually recommend people the 600 ohm DT880 or the DT1990, but the Tiger 300R is also fantastic. Oh, I got a thing. Joshua Valor. First run, now you. Good luck, buy a sandwich. Thanks, Josh. I'll buy that sandwich that you like from that place by here. And then I'll send you a picture of the sandwich. Actually, Josh and I have a thing we're going to do where eventually I'm going to mail him a sandwich from New York. So I don't know if that'll actually be a video, but I'm going to try and get him a New York sandwich all the way out where he's at. See if it works. I think it'd be pretty cool. Metal 571's here, Andrew's here, Josh is here. We got the gang all here. We're just missing Z. What's going on? Z's probably doing a stream too right now, though. Best DAC amp under 500. I still think that's going to be the Element 2. I love that combo. It's so good. There's things that make more power than it, but it's just so good. And it's uniform, and it's made in America, and it's a nice little package. It's just like, God, it's so good. It's so good. I love that thing. That was like some kind of fanboy moment going on there. You need that sandwich. That's fair. Yeah. The holes in your ears affect the sound quality in your headphones. No, I mean, I've tried to measure differences, but also I'll take these out when I listen, like really, really seriously on things. So I don't know. I don't think it does. I can't measure any difference when I try to put these on a rig, but is Made in America good? I don't necessarily think that Made in America means that something's better, but I do like things that are made in America. I guess because I live in America. There are very strict standards on the safety of electronics. So in some ways I feel a little bit safer that way. And usually, like for stuff like the JDS stuff, like the Element 2 is like really well built. It's got like an aluminum chassis and I just like the way it feels. There's something about it more than just the sound that makes it a good product, I feel like. Thoughts on IFI Diablo? No thoughts yet, haven't tried it, so I don't have an opinion on it quite yet. $400 portable amp DAC for 660S. That's a lot like the 58X, and where it doesn't hardly need any power. You could probably power that off of an X-Can, which is Bluetooth, just fine, or off an IDSD Black Label is way too much power for it, but it's a good sounding portable. X-Can is probably the most convenient thing, though. How am I not watching the game? I'm just here, doing this stuff. Keeping me busy. Z is not streaming right now. Oh, what do you know? Is there a headphone like the K361 with the same tuning but better details? No, I wish there was. That'd be great. I feel like there's a big market gap right now for a headphone in like the $500 price point that is a high impedance, closed back headphone that is tuned like the K361. But it doesn't exist. I feel like that's one of the biggest, like, tell me if you guys agree. There's not many good headphones that are closed back in like the $500-ish to $1,000 range. Like it's kind of it's a lot missing there, you know? There's a lot of great open backs, but closed backs just kind of like disappear in that gap. And it's like you have cheap closed backs and you have hyper expensive closed backs, and the ones in the middle are just kind of eh. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but I feel like that's a big missed spot. Is the Harmonic Dyne Zeus with the little Dot Mark II a good setup? It's a hard one with the little Dot Mark II because you can't play it loud because the amp distorts because the headphone is too low of impedance for it. If you listen quiet, yeah, it's a great combo. Depends on which way you want to go with that. What do I think about the GL2000? No words on that yet. Not until I've spent some time with it. Then we will talk about an opinion. Metal said, that's what I was going to say. K361, 371 are about it in terms of closed back being well tuned. Yeah, there's a lot of closed backs just aren't good. I don't know why, but opinion on Meze headphones. I liked them a few years ago. Don't really like them as much now. There's so many questions. What's the best portable amp DAC for 6XX? Zeos did a portable tube amp that was pretty cheap. I don't remember what it was called, but that thing was amazing with 6XX. Are you a frequent IEM user? What's your personal favorite IEM right now? I have a lot of IEMs on the table at the moment. These are all ones that I'm like messing with like this week and today. This is one of my favorites. Z reviewed it. It was, let me pull up the name of this thing. It's like the, what is this? Kinera Nana. That thing's great. And I love the new Sennheiser IE300. Those are two IEMs that I absolutely love. Neither of them are cheap, but I really like them. The IE300, I genuinely like. I want to use it actively over a lot of my, over-ear headphones. So, I don't know if everyone's going to love it as much as I do, but to me it sounds like a 560S, but with more bass. Really like this. But yeah, I got other things here too. I've got the Unique Melody Mest. I've got the Moondrop Blessing to Dusk Krenz collab. So that thing's pretty awesome. There's a lot of different things here. We're going to talk about a lot of IEMs over the coming weeks and some speakers too. I missed so many things because I talked about that for so long. QC35 2 are the best all-around closed-back headphones. I wouldn't say the best all-around closed-back headphones because things like the K361 just kind of sound better. But I do have a QC35 2 here sitting on my desk because I was just using it for like a 2-hour phone call, so I can't knock that. They're really comfortable, and they're pretty decent all around. They're just missing out a little bit on sound quality, but nothing's perfect. It's just how it goes. DMS, how much would you say you spent on headphones over the years? Oh, bad numbers. Too much. If I hadn't bought all the headphones and amps and stuff that I bought over the past few years, I could have bought a house already. It kills me. But audio is expensive. Running an audio channel is an expensive thing. That's why I have affiliate links. That's why I have the Patreon. That's why I have all that, because reviewing amps and headphones can really do a number on your bank account. Oh, you know those glasses you lost? I'm assuming you found my glasses. Were they in your car? Because I already bought new glasses and they get here in a few weeks. They're here with you? Are you at the office? I assume they're in his car. I lost my glasses last week. Wow, okay. A lot of them just popped in. 58X or 560S for technical performance? 560S. Holy moly. Yep, they're in his car. Your car or your office? What do you think about what do you think about running the 1990 Pro on a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2? Any decent closeback alternative? That's the problem. There isn't really a good closeback in that price point that does that kind of detail either. The 2i2 I don't think will do it justice. You should use a bigger amp with that and a better DAC. You could use it on the 2i2 for things like music production, but for listening you will get a better experience out of something else. Love the review. Thanks. Thank you. 4XX versus 5XX. 5XX for sure. It's just a better headphone, but the 4XX is a killer value, so hard to beat. Sundara is the easy go-to for Hyphaman, though. HE1 best gaming headphones? I don't really feel that way about the HE1. It's pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong, but you need to review Puck? Yeah, Metal, you can come review my dog if you want. Okay, she's right there. I don't know if it's picking up on camera or not. She's sleeping. Best DAC amp combo for the 95X? Well, it already has an amp. So you got to look at DACs then. I liked it with the Socras 1321 because it had the ESP95X is that stupid volume knob where the left and right channels are separate. So what you do is you set it to a level and then you just control the volume on the Socras 1321 instead. That way you don't have to worry about balancing the left and right. GL2000 again. Yeah, review's not out though yet. I'm gonna give an opinion on it in the full review. Want to wait until I've really kind of used it more before I give my opinion on it. But GL2000 is coming. Just want to say hi. You're great. Thank you. You're great. PC38X still best for gaming? Yep. The PC38X is insane. It's so good for gaming. Like, I've been using other things for gaming just to test them out, but it really is. PC38X really is the best thing out there for gaming right now, unless you're going with like an HD800. It's nuts. It's not the best for music. Like a 6XX feels more resolving immediately for music, but best wireless closed back headphone under $200? That's hard. I really want to try the new AKG N700NC because I haven't tried that yet, and I've heard that it's really good, but I can't actually say yet. Jesse Driftwood, hey, what's up, man? Thanks for the chat today. You're welcome, dude. Thank you. We're gonna set him up with some dope audio stuff. I'm sending a bunch of headphones up that way soon. See, I love this kind of stuff. I love, like, sitting with all you guys and, like, telling you my recommendations on stuff. Because it's, like, I feel like I'm just, like, chatting with, like, a group of friends, you know? It's awesome. IFI Zencan from Mother's DAC. What? Is that a question? I'm sorry. Magnus and Modius for $400? Sure. Magnus and Modius are great. It's not my personal go-to. I still like the JDS stuff more, but the Magnus and Modius are balanced. They undoubtedly put out more power, and that's going to be better for a lot of headphones. So it really depends on your use case. I just really like the uniformity of the Element 2, because it's just like this tiny little all-in-one, and it does, honestly, everything I need it to do. I'm not a loud listener, though. What's a good headphone for gaming without an attached microphone? 880 Pro or 300R, both of them. I mean, most headphones are great for gaming. The Harmonic Dyne Zeus is really good, 880 is great, 300R is great. You can just throw something like this on there or use a microphone like that up there. Hopefully that wasn't like blaringly loud. Portable DAC amp for HD560S. Man, you guys are getting me on the portables today. Portables is a tough thing. It really is. Z is going to know better on portables than I am. I'm going to be honest. I'll say it right now. Zeos will know more about portables than me. I do a lot more desktop stuff. So if you want to know about portable amps, he's your man on that. I'll admit it there. Just like New Record Days, like the guy for like the in-depth crazy speaker knowledge. Just how it is. Where else did I miss? I saw a bunch of questions go by. Best amp for DT880 600 ohm. Well, I'm assuming 600 ohm. You didn't say 600 ohm. If it's the 600 ohm, something really high power. Sometimes tubes are nice on it. It depends on the sound you're going for. Emotiva Basex was wicked with it, but you have to really like moderate your DAC levels going into it. I loved it on the Dark Voice. It really depends on what you're going for, though. So if you want that like crazy, super kind of audiophile sound, I'd do it with like a Dark Voice with some swapped tubes. Cereal, carrot. Yeah, sure. Carrot. Yeah, no, I would recommend the Dark Voice with the DT880. It's a pretty good combo. I would just make sure you tube roll it. Stock tubes are a little bit aggressive. Can I use Zencan amp? Zencan with motherboard's DAC via optical. If your motherboard has optical out and the Zencan, I think that has optical in, doesn't it? If it does, then yeah, that'll work. I'm running optical out of my motherboard into an optical splitter and then running that to like 5 different DACs, so that works just fine. So as long as you have, I don't know, does this thing have optical? I don't think the Zencan has optical. You'd need some kind of DAC there. Hey DMS, I wanted to ask, do you still use the VE Zen earbuds? I've moved on to a lot of IEMs now. Really like these. As far as earbuds go, they're really cheap, but Yencro X6 are actually kind of great for their price. So I think they're like $11. You get them on AliExpress, and they're not IEM, they're an earbud that actually has bass. How crazy is that? Earbuds that do bass. What camera am I using? I'm using an A6300, but I'm running it 1080p through a capture card, and the capture card has had a hard time lately, so it's not the highest quality in the world right now, but it gets the job done. You know, you guys can see me. It's slightly better than a webcam. Eventually I want to fine-tune this whole setup. The problem is I work full-time, so working full-time and making these videos and doing this, it's a whole lot. You're the 6XX and the Dark Voice. Okay. What tubes? Okay, this is what I'm using with it. I'm using a Tongue Sol Pre tube. So the 6S N7, I'm using a Tongue Sol tube, with a little red bottom on it. And for my power tube, I'm using an old 6AS7G RCA tube. You can get both those on eBay, pretty cheap. Just make sure you let the Tongue Sol pre-tube, leave the power tube out, turn it on with the pre-tube on it, just the pre-tube in there, and let it sit there for a while. It took mine a couple days because at first it buzzes. You want it to burn in so the buzz goes away because the tube swaps make a weird buzzing noise. I talk about why it does that in the review a little bit. What's a good budget DAC amp to run K361 on? I'm gonna be honest, you don't need a DAC amp with these. You just plug them up to something and use it. I plug these up to like my laptop, and I am perfectly happy with the way they sound because they don't really have a high power requirement. They work off just about anything, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. If you have to have some sort of a DAC amp, I mean, Apple makes a Type C to 3.5mm dongle. That's actually pretty good for being like $10 or something. That would be fine for a K361. What if I told you I got the gold plan or GL2000s to go with a drop 6XX Zen can plus drop DAC? I mean, if it powers it, it works. I don't have a solid opinion on the GL2000 because I'm still forming the review on it. But I mean, 6XX and a Zen can, that's a cool combo. You'll probably have fun with it. The big spot for me to give advice is if you do or don't like something. But, you know, let me know when you do or don't like something, and I'll do my best to help you out, give you some advice on that. Metal said agree, definitely don't need an amp for K361, just be careful on sources with high output impedance. Yeah, which luckily isn't too many things. It doesn't get too crazy out there. Review the Mac Mini M1 for audio. The problem is that it's kind of hard to review a computer for audio because it's just holding a digital file. There's not a lot happening there. But I mean, I like it. I like the M1 a lot. M1 is probably one of the fastest computers I've ever had as far as just overall performance is concerned. Desktop still beats it in render times, but still. 560S or 5XX. 560S. It's just great. I just love it. I'm sending the 560S to Metal 571 so he can try it. I literally keep this thing. Oh, come on. Well, now my cable is tangled. I've gotten into a whole mess now. I keep the 560S right here at my desk. It just hangs right there. It is a incredible headphone, especially if you throw it on tubes. What's the best tube amp I've ever heard? Woo Wah 33. That thing sounds unbelievable. Best amp and DAC to pair with HD800s. That's hard to say because I only used a handful with it. I really liked it with the liquid platinum, but I imagine HD800 would sound really good with some OTL tube amps too. But I didn't get the chance to try that. I want to try that at some point though. Oh, where did we go? Where did we lost track of where we were at. You have a shit stack, 6XX and 4XX. Now what? I mean, you could either upgrade your amp and DAC, or you could keep grabbing more headphones, or you could just be happy with the way you are. I don't know. If you're not happy with your headphones in some way, then that gives you room to upgrade. Otherwise, just listen and enjoy audio, I'd say. Because I use a 6XX all the time and love it. Why are some headphones better at high impedance? That's a whole rabbit hole, I'm gonna be real. I think because it takes more advantage of the amplifiers that they're connected to. Oh, that's a whole thing. Some aren't though. The high impedance DT770 was kind of weird. So I don't know. That needs to be a whole video. I really need to make a whole video on impedance. Good upgrade from SHP 9500, 6XX or Sundara. Both of those would be great upgrades from the 9500, I think. Oh, but I say the Tiger 300R is better than the PC300X for music and movies as well as gaming. That's hard. They're different. I feel like the PC300X is like the king of gaming, but the Tiger 300R definitely produces more detail than the 300X. So it depends on what you're looking for and what you define as better. The 300X is just kind of like it's got the best directional accuracy for its price, but doesn't have the resolution of some other headphones in its range. But that's what makes it incredible for gaming, is because you put on the 3.8X and you can hear every bad guy who's ever been born and what direction he's coming from. It's just how it works. Man, I've been talking a lot today. I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of the day because I filmed a video and then I talked on the phone and now I'm here. Wild. Best non-in-ear headphone. That's tough because we could be talking about like a $10,000 headphone, or we could talk about, like, it depends on so many factors for what makes the best for you. Predictions on GL2000? Nope, not sharing opinions on the GL2000 until the review comes out. Sorry, that's a touchy subject, that one. 1990 Harmonic Dyne Zeus for casual, fun music listening. DAC amp combo for both, or... Okay, well, DAC amp combo under 400, I'm still going to say Element 2 from JDS Labs. JDS Labs Element 2 is great. If I had to pick between the Zeus and the 1990, I'd probably pick the 1990, but the Zeus has bigger soundstage. But I just love the sound of the 1990. I haven't tried the MMX 300s. Z said I could try his at some point. I just got to get around to doing it. Typically, us reviewers use resolution interchange. Yeah, like Metal said, that's correct. Typically, reviewers use resolution and detail as interchangeable words. So, yeah, resolution and detail kind of go hand in hand when I'm talking about that. What else we got here? Do I use any EQ? Yeah. Do I use an FR target with it? Not exactly. Like, I'll measure some things in EQ, but usually what I try to do is just EQ it until I think it sounds good. And then I'll measure to see what I'm actually EQing to after that. So, like 6XX I'll EQ sometimes. I don't usually like to EQ too much because I feel like if something needs heavy EQ to sound good, then it's not a great headphone. But some headphones can become even better with EQ. So, like, 6XX doesn't need EQ. It's great out of the box. But you can make it even better with a little bit of EQ. So... Are T1.2 best for gaming aside from the HD800S? No. I would say the PC38X is the best thing for gaming behind the HD800/800S. As wild as that is. Just because it's so good with its imaging. Man, we're getting so many of these. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all the questions. I'll take a sip of water. You buy some time. Best entry-level DAC amp for 560S? Atom Stack. Atom DAC and Atom Amp. That's like the best entry-level DAC amp for everything. Ooh, there's an interesting one. I'm considering the 95X, the 560S, 5XX, and 6XX. Whew. That depends what you're looking for. A lot. 95X has the most detail, 6XX is the most pleasing, 560S is probably the most accurate, 5XX has big soundstage. They're all really good. You can't really go wrong. What else we got in here? Man, y'all are making me run out of breath. I need like a co-pilot here to like answer questions with me. Channel imbalancing. Usually I listen to something mono to try and tell if I'm getting a center image, and that helps me determine if I'm getting a channel imbalance or not. 880-600 worth it for classical in 2021. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 880-600 ohm is still absolutely fantastic if you have a good amp for it. Let's What's the best app to listen to high-res files on iOS? That's a good question. Honestly, I just use Tidal for everything. So you could get away with like Fubar or something like that. There's a lot of apps out there, but I just use Tidal most of the time, to be honest. I find it's more than good enough. Do I think there's an appreciable difference? Thank you, by the way, Steve. Do you think there's an appreciable difference between MQA files? I mean, there's probably a small gain with like FLAC over MQA on Tidal, but it's not enough that I've ever really cared that much about it. I use Tidal and I'm completely happy with Tidal, and that goes for like super high-end systems. I think Tidal is more than enough. I think it's fine. How long have we been going for? Is there a time on this? Let me go back and check my software. Half an hour. I've been ranting for half an hour. Oof. Let me see. Where's a really interesting one here? Favorite non-audio thing I've been doing lately? Audio's been everything lately. Because I work a full work week around audio stuff, and then I come home and make YouTube videos about audio stuff, so everything's audio. But I do like watches. Watches and cars are my other hobbies. This is a Seiko Presage, and it's a little automatic watch, and I just like... Can I pull up my camera so I can see what I'm doing here? Yeah, you can kind of see the weight in the back of it. The little weight spins around. I don't know, I like watches. That's another hobby. Watches and cars. I'm totally out of breath for some reason today, so I'm probably going to do this for like another 10-15 minutes. And that'll be that for the day, just because I'm exhausted. But I need to redo my video on this thing, because I don't know why YouTube just was messed up like crazy. So, what car do I drive? I drive a Lexus IS250, and I love it. It's my favorite. Dream car would probably be an LC500 maybe. I really like the LC500. I think that thing is stunningly beautiful. I think it sounds amazing. New cheap IEM review. I don't have many cheap IEMs coming. The cheapest IEM that's coming is like, I think in the $300 range, but sorry. Oh, Grand Seiko? Yeah, those are very nice. I would love to have a Grand Seiko, but I can't afford that yet. You're talking like big baller stuff. Best gaming headphones, PC38X followed by HG800/800S. Okay, look, I like the LFA, but I like the LC500 more than the LFA, I'm gonna be honest. It's the hood is just kind of different for me, and I like the rear of the LC500 has those fenders that kind of roll out that are wide. I'm gonna put here. Can I pull up a picture of an LC500? Let me pull up a picture of an LC500. I'm gonna show you guys what we're talking about cars now for just a quick second. Okay, there's one picture. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Let's get one more picture here. Maybe even two. Did that work? That didn't work. I couldn't pull up that picture. Yeah, there's another one. Oh, that's such high resolution. It looks beautiful. Okay, now let me go in OBS here. How do I add image? Oh, we're figuring it out. Desktop. Look at that. That's incredible. I think that's beautiful. Let's get one more. I took it. There's another picture of the back of it. This is like my dream car. It's way more money than I could afford, but like, oh my gosh. Perfection right there. Absolute perfection. That's as pretty as it gets for me. Next to like cars from the 70s. I like those cool paint flow intros with paint. Some of them I make at home, and some of them I do. Some of them I've bought as stock footage, and some of them I've made at home with a camera and a paint bucket. So you just put a lot of liquid in and you stir it around and you just let things mix and flow and you film it. It's a good time. Why do I keep returning to the 6XX? FBI for tacos asks. The 6XX is just... It's just got such a lush mid-range and such a forgiving sound and such a unique soundstage in the fact that it basically doesn't have any soundstage. I don't know, it's just an intimate, great headphone. It's got just the right impedance for tubes. Just the right winning factors to where it's just a great headphone for its price, and I always end up missing it. It's really comfortable. Whew. Edymonic makes great stuff, yes. How much sound of the Abyss do you get with the 560S? Oh, they're just too different. I can't compare that. Here. Give me like 10 seconds. I need to run and grab water real quick. Be right back. Okay. What a good dog. She's so good. Okay. Sound Blaster G6? It'd probably power the PC38X better. You can power the PC38X off basically anything, I'm gonna be honest. What do I think of the clears? Like the Focal clears? I love them. Focal clear is a great headphone. S tier. Goes way up there at the top. What happened with the podcast with Z and Josh? We just all got busy. I moved to another state. Life happened. At some point I'd love to do it again. But man, I just haven't had the time. Life has been way too busy. What do I do when I don't need something but want it? I try really hard not to spend my money. Sometimes I end up buying things anyway. That's why I have a million headphones, but, you know, the same as anybody else. If you need something, or if you want something but don't need it, there you go. It's a want, not a need, but there are things that improve your quality of living. I don't think buying every headphone on the hype train really helps at all. I don't think that makes my quality of living any better. I try a lot of stuff, and if there's one thing that I enjoy, and I still enjoy it like weeks and weeks later, then I will go out of my way to buy it. So things like the 560S, definitely. These IEMs, that's going to be one of them. For sure. This is going to be a video coming pretty soon. Is ripping CD worth it? I don't think so. I think you're better off just using Tidal, honestly. We're talking such minute differences. Do I live in a house or apartment? It's a loft, so I guess an apartment. I live over a pizza shop. I'd love to have a house, but I have this hobby that's audio stuff, so all my money disappears into buying things to review for you guys. So don't have a house. I'd love to, though, because speakers would sound a lot better in a house than they sound in this little place. What do I think about people saying the Focal Clear sounds metallic and bright? It could to some people, sure. I think it sounds less metallic than things like the Ananda or Aria, but I think that it does lean a little bit in that direction. It's a little bit more, yeah, it's a little bit more in that direction, but I still really like it. at its price and resolution, it's one of the more natural sounding headphones compared to other things in that range. So, depends on what you're after. I really like it though. You're considering getting a DT770 Pro ADO, and you like bass? I mean, sure, that sounds like two things that go hand in hand. It does have some bass. New York, it better be good pizza. Yeah, but pizza gives me heartburn, so I don't eat pizza from downstairs much. I do get their subs, though. Their subs are fantastic. When is the next Linus collab? That's up to them. I might be helping them with a project kind of soon, but I don't know if it'll actually be a collab or not, so we'll see what comes out of that. If I had to choose one Sundara or 6XX, 6XX because it's more comfortable. Sundara does sound better, but 6XX for comfort, because comfort matters to me above everything else. Do I still recommend PC 3.8X for gaming? Yes. Wireless headphones list. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do a wireless headphones list and an IEM list. All of these IEMs in this big stack are going to go on a list. So I need to sit down and take the time to make it. The problem is free time. I work full time and then I do all this after I work full time, so I'm putting in like 60, 70 hours a week into just like between YouTube and my day job. So I need to like find a way to have more time so I can do more for you guys, because YouTube is like my main, like, I want to put more time into YouTube. So where did my mod mic review go? It messed up, man. The audio was screwed. YouTube was like glitching it, and then my recording software was glitching it, so I had to pull the review. I'm gonna refilm it and then I'll re-upload it like next week or something, but that's why I'm doing a stream today, because the video was broken. Love your reviews, man. Thank you. I love reviewing. Oh, I got a thing here. What do we say? I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name because of the lettering. IEMs, I'm using the FIO X5 paired with a Moondrop Starfield. What do I think is the next reasonable upgrade from that? That's hard because IEMs are a whole different world. People like Kren know way more about IEMs than I do. And I haven't even heard the Starfield, if I'm to be honest. I've heard these, the Blessing 2 Dusk from Moondrop. But my taste in IEM seems to vary a little bit compared to other people's. So that's a bit of a tough one. That really is a bit of a tough one. I like these. I like the IE300s, the new Sennheisers. But I mean, I only have like maybe a dozen other IEMs here to compare to. So there are people more qualified for talking about IEMs than me. I saw something in here about Abyss. What was it? How busy are you with the Abyss? We've been super busy lately with a lot of projects. Yeah. It's just been crazy. Am I saying I didn't like the Dusk? No, the Dusk is a great IEM. Dusk is a great IEM. I like slightly different tuning, but that's a personal preference thing. But the Dusk does get a recommendation. I'm going to be recommending the Dusk in my video. So it's just going to depend on what kind of sound you're after. Abyss headphone on the way. I mean, they're still doing research and development on a future project, but, you know, got a little ways to go on that. They've talked publicly about the idea that they're working on a closeback. So that's no secret. But, you know, there's a little time on that before anything really is ready to ship out with them yet. But I am excited about it based off the things that I've seen them working on around the office. Is there a new 1266? No, there's not. It's still the same old 1266 TC. Is what it is. I keep it by my desk because I like using it. It does have a big headband on it though now. They did upgrade the headbands, which is pretty cool. So do I prefer planar or dynamic? There's not a preference between them. I like using both. I mean, I think they all have their advantages and disadvantages. What department am I working? It's not really a department. I make all their videos. I handle marketing. I make some stuff around the building, like I help making drivers sometimes. It's a very relaxed workspace, and the idea that I can come in and, you know, as long as projects get done, that's what matters the most. They're not really strict, which is nice. They're really, really good people to work with. But there was a lot of freedom at the office. But yeah, mostly I make a lot of their marketing material in their videos and stuff, because Abyss has a YouTube channel also where they talk a lot about like high-end audio and kind of like a podcast style thing. Yeah, there you go. If you want a podcast, go look at Abyss's channel. They have a kind of a podcast thing over there. If you end up going over there, tell them that I sent you. I'll end up reading that comment though too, because I run their channel. Up. Anything similar to 560S in the closeback world? No, closeback world is so lacking. Like the world needs better closebacks, but they're just not there. I don't know why. Someone needs to make it. That's what the market is. The market, quote me on this, the market is missing a $400 to $500 closed back headphone tuned like the K361 in the 250 to 300 ohm range. That's what the market is missing. Best DAC amp under 500 using Sundara, JDS Labs, Element 2. Is there a big difference in resolution between IEMs and headphones? No. Not with good IEMs. These are my customs. They're from '64. This is the A6, which has long since been outdated. But this is an older 64 audio custom IEM. Yeah, that's my ear canal right there. Pretty wild. It is insanely detailed and very pleasing. The 64 A12T and U12T are just stupidly amazingly good, and they're IEMs. So yeah, no, IEMs can be really, really solid. It's the presentation that's different. Yeah, Focal Elegia is good, but it is a little bit weird sounding. It's like sometimes thin, and then sometimes not. It's an odd one. How close is Dianify to 1266? I mean, they're based off the same driver technology. The TC 1266 is a little bit more advanced. The big difference is presentation. The 1266 has way bigger pads. It's more kind of farther off your head, so sound staging is going to be one of the biggest differences between them. The Diana's a more intimate experience. Focal Radiance, says Resolve Reviews. Oh yeah, they have that new thing coming out like tomorrow. I kind of want to check that out. Andrew says, hey DMS, just bought a pair of Takstar HF580. Nice. Those are the ones that are basically the IVA, the Cindy IVA. Running them off a razor blade on 20 to 40% volume, does that mean I don't need an amp? They, shit hell would improve them. Not drastically, but they would benefit from an amplifier. I think it'll be a little bit cleaner. You'll probably get a little bit more well-rounded low end too. So yeah, they would benefit some from an amplifier in sound quality. It's not gonna like blow your mind and be night and day, but it is a difference. Is the 250 ohm DT880 worth it over the 5.8X? That's tough, because the DT880 is a brighter sounding headphone than 5.8X. 5.8X is a little more well balanced. If you go with the DT880 though, I'd go with the 600 ohm. I think the 600 ohm is just better. Can a 789 power a 1266? I mean, yeah, it can power it, but the 789 is like... Personally, I think the 789 is a really harsh sounding amplifier. I'm not the biggest fan of the 789. It's not a bad amp. Don't quote me saying that it's a bad amp, because it's not a bad amp, but I've bought a lot of amps. I've never bought a 789, and I've heard a lot of 789s. So I think there's better choices out there if you are looking for sound enjoyment. Where did we go? I lost some things. I lost place again. How did I run the DT880 600 ohm balanced? Well, I gutted it, and I soldered on a new cable, which definitely voids the warranty. So be careful about that. What do I think about audiophile cables? Oh man, there's a whole subject. Okay. Here's the thing about cabling. There's two sides. You can't measure any difference with it, but a lot of people claim to have experiences with it. So who's right? I took 5 people to PS Audio's Music Room 1. And, well, I guess it was a different... Well, it's the one that has the IRS-5 in it. And Paul McGowan was there. And I asked him, I said, can we swap a cable? Have somebody blind swap a cable and see if there's a difference, because he claimed there was a difference. So 5 people in there. A person is behind the rack of gear swapping this cable out, and he's like, yeah, lets everybody get acclimated to the system and asks people to tell him which one is plugged up. And sometimes he would swap it, and sometimes he wouldn't. Sometimes he just unplug it and plug it back in, but nobody knew. And he'd have us guess. And I went into the room with the idea that this is all so stupid and this and that and that and that. And I didn't sit on the couch for a lot of this. I sat on the sidelines and kind of wanted to see what everybody said. The people all sitting on the couch guessed correctly every time between the expensive and the inexpensive cabling. So does that confirm it? I don't know. I truthfully can't say. I'm open to the possibility of it. If it makes any difference at all, I think it's probably very small in the grand scheme of things. But I don't want to say that it does, and I don't want to say that it doesn't. And I think that audio's got so many things that are unexplored that it's kind of hard to say one way or the other. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in a neutral middle ground on that. I don't think we should shame people for using nice cables, but I also don't want to go out of my way to tell everyone that they have to use nice cables. I think that we should all just kind of sit in the middle ground on it and let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, and that be that. If you think it makes a difference, then good for you. And if you think it doesn't, then good for you, and just enjoy it either way. And that's that. First Audiophile headphone. My first Audiophile headphone? It was like an HD205 or HD202 or something. Cheap Sennheiser. Like $20, $30 Sennheiser. I was mowing my parents' yard, and I was like, I'd mow my neighbor's yard and all this other stuff too, and I got like 20, 30 bucks saved up, and I bought a pair of headphones because I needed some, because I wanted to mow the yard more. It was better with headphones on. And I got those, and I was like, whoa. I'm hearing things in this music that I couldn't hear otherwise. What's going on? That kind of kick-started this whole thing. The cable coat hanger thing, yeah, that is kind of funny, actually. I mean, like I said, I'm open to the idea of them possibly doing something. I'm not entirely convinced either way. I'm not convinced that they don't, and I'm not convinced that they 100% do. I want to sit in the middle on it and just say, you know what you like. But I'm gonna be real. I don't like the idea of like people getting upset and shaming people for using cables, and the other way around, people who shame others for using inexpensive cables. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if you like something or not. Just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Audio doesn't have to be this like crazy, toxic, harsh environment. Any plans on doing more full-size speaker reviews? Asks Mitch. Would like to see someone I trust do more modern review. What are these? Let me look these up. Yeah, I have more speaker reviews in the works. I've got a big set of triangles I'm reviewing right now. Oh, those are interesting. I will look into these. Yeah, I do want to review more speakers, actually. I lack the space in my my place right now. I think I'll be doing a lot more speaker videos in the next, I'd say probably after a year from now. I'll probably be doing a lot more speaker videos because I plan on getting more space, a bigger space. But for now, I do them every now and then, and mostly do headphones. So, speaking of, Ron just messaged me from New Record Day. Ron is a great resource for speakers. If you want somebody you can trust on speakers while I'm not doing a ton, look up Ron's channel, New Record Day. I really, truly believe that he's very, very educated on this stuff. And speaking of that, he has a video, I plug it all the time, but it's called LOTS, L-O-T-S, Loudspeaker Optimization Techniques for Soundstage. That's how I set up my speakers. I think that is the best way to set up speakers. And yeah, Ron's great. Love your content. Thank you. And you got me into this. Just got a 5.8X. Don't know what to get next. I'm from Europe, so not Shed or JDS Labs. Oh. Well, there's that that IFI, the Zen deck, I think. Zen desktop USB DAC. That's the one that has the, let me double check. Yeah. Yeah, I would say If you can't get JDS Labs and you have a 5.8X, grab an IFI Audio Zen deck. It has a little bass button on it, which is kind of cool, which helps out with things like the 5.8X and the 6XX. And IFI is definitely in Europe, so yeah, give them a shot. Dude, applauses for your cables explanation. Thank you. I want to make a video on it one day explaining what I just explained, but the cables are such a touchy subject in audio, and everyone has really strong opinions, and everybody kind of feels like you have to put heads on pitchforks when you talk about them, either for or against them. Just love what you're gonna love, man. We're all in this to enjoy music. And telling other people if they can or can't enjoy their headphone system because they are or are not using expensive cables is uncool. You have the KPH30i Sivga 006s, X2HRs. You love each of them. Where do you go from there? That's tough. It depends on budget. Based off all that, I'm going to say Harmonic Dyne Zeus would be your next upgrade. Because it's another headphone that, it's like, it doesn't measure perfectly, but it's really fun. And I feel like that would go right in line with all that stuff. But it does have a little bit more treble than those. So yeah, probably Harmonic Dyne Zeus. I feel like that would be the next next logical step in that kind of lineage. Do I consider 1266 good for a daily driver? That's hard, because it is a big headphone. Like, I love using this thing, but it's like, it is a big headphone. I don't know if I can wear it for 2 hours a day. I listen to it for like 45 minutes to an hour, like of like really intentional music, but like I feel like it's the kind of headphone where like if you're using it for background listening, that's just like kind of weird for it. It's not made for that. It's made for like sitting and really intentionally listening to music. If I'm editing and doing stuff, I'm going to use something else because it's like, I don't know, I feel like this is not the headphone for background music. This is, I want to sit down and have a life-changing experience kind of headphone. And it just feels wrong to use for like editing videos and stuff sometimes. So if you actively, intensely listen to music for 2 hours a day, hell yeah. I mean, sure, rock a 1266. But I don't think I actively, intentionally listen to music for 2 hours straight with nothing else going on. And I feel like that headphone requires your full, undivided attention. Have I heard the 8700X? I mean, yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty cheap. Think about getting it for competitive gaming. Sure, why not? It's an open back headphone. It's affordable. It's not bad. $1,000 best sound quality. ESP95X with a Socris 1321 DAC and a little bit of EQ to pull down the 1.2 kilohertz region. GL2000 review coming on it. Not going to talk about it until then, so gotta wait on that one. What do I think about the 9600, the SHP 9600? Yeah, do I think it's a good first pair of headphones? Yeah, absolutely. If you can find it for $100 or less, the SHP 9600 is a great value. And I still use it sometimes. I enjoy using it. I think it's a fine headphone. It's not crazy on detail. It's not crazy on tuning or soundstage or anything else, but just all across the board, it's like, yeah, this is fine. This is a fine experience. If you needed to pick a headphone for pure enjoyment music, what would it be? Either these or a 6XX on a really nice tube amp. I know those are polar opposites, but like that's for pure music enjoyment, it's got to be those. I feel like the 1266 is the big mega soundstage, mega detail machine, and the 6XX on tubes is like just gooey, warm tube, and you just like sit back and you're in like a big soft bean bag and you put it on and the sound just kind of flows around. Just, yeah. 6XX tubes, very laid back experience. Can I ban spammers? I'm gonna be real, I can't pay attention enough to who's spamming and who's not. Do me a favor, don't spam too much in the chat. If you are. I know that doesn't really help, but I have not tried the Audio GD D28. I loved the NFB11 and R2R11. I should try some more Audio GD stuff. Oh, that looks nice. Look at the electronics in that thing. What is going on? I should get another Audio GD amp. That's pretty. Man, they need a better website. This thing is impossible to navigate. Good lord. Okay. Back in the chat. What's going on here? Would I like the K361 as a first audiophile headphone? Yeah, the K361 or the SHP 9600 are both excellent, like, first audiophile headphones. I mean, I use it all the time. I think it's great. I probably use this editing videos probably 2-3 days a week. So, best mobile setup, price, no object. Ugh. That's hard. Depends on how mobile you want to be. I think the best sounding IEM out there that I've heard is the 64 Audio U12T. So that's probably it for a mobile setup. And that you can honestly run off of an iPhone dongle. You don't need an amp for it. If I had to have my go-to mobile setup, I think that would be it. 64 Audio U12T and an iPhone dongle. As crazy as that sounds. Because it's, oh, and with Deconi tips on it. It has to have foam Deconi tips. Because with the silicone ones, or silicone tips, it's just a little bit too much treble. Okay. Clear versus Alex. Oh, don't do that to me. The Clear, for sure, is a winner there. The Alex is a little bit more harsh than the Clear. The Clear is just like the Alex, but kind of better in almost every way. If I tried the Aeolus and Verte, yeah, I love the Verte, and I love the Aeolus. My favorite ZMF headphones, though, are probably their closed backs now. Actually, that's hard to say, because I love the Verte and I love the Otor. The closed backs really stand out, though, man. If you get a ZMF closed back, it's like an Icon or a Verte closed. And in either situation, you should be using it with their micro suede pads, in my personal opinion. I got a message. What? Ah. Why iPhone dongle? I'm gonna be honest, it measures really good and puts out way more than enough power for IEMs. And Apple makes a Type-C to 3.5 also that works on Android devices and on PCs. So if you have an Android phone with a USB-C plug, you can still use the iPhone dongle. That's just great for IEMs. Why you see so much hate for Audio GD on forums? Because some Audio GD amps don't measure well, and people seem to correlate amp measurements with whether or not you can enjoy music on it, which is kind of goofy. It's like how some Class A amps don't measure as well as a THX AAA 789, but sound so much more enjoyable. But the THX AAA 789 measures better, so it's cleaner. I don't know, man. I don't think Audio GD is bad. I don't think that amps have to measure good either. I mean, I have a tube tattooed on my arm. Tube amps measure terribly, but they sound incredible. They're probably some of the best sounding amps on the planet are tube amps. So, my honest advice, you shouldn't care how amps measure. You should care how they sound. That's a big, long subject. I'll rant about it a lot, but if someone says that an amp measures like crap, don't let that affect whether or not you're going to get it and enjoy it. This is music we're listening to. We're not listening to, you know, information from a computer. This isn't rocket science. It's about pleasure. This is a hobby about pleasure. What does DMS stand for? Douglas Marks Stevens. It's my initials. That's why I'm DMS3TV, because I am the third. I realize it's a passionate subject, amps and all that, but yeah, I'm a tube fanboy, I know. Oh, thank you. The tattoo is dope. I appreciate it. I want to get a MOSFET on my other arm so I can have tubes in solid state. Because that's how my desk is. The arm with the tube tattoo, I have all my tube amps over here. And then my other arm, I have a bunch of solid state amps over here. So then I can have both. Get it all balanced out. Or my father and brother. I don't have a brother, but my dad and his father. So my dad and my granddad were both DMSs as well. So, yeah, if you ever email the Abyss guys and you end up talking to a Douglas, you're talking to me. Thanks for your response. What do you think about the Shure 1540? I think close back. Okay, so 1540, that's a tough one. The 1540 is a good headphone. It's a really, really boring headphone for me personally. It's not tuned to a target response that I'm a big fan of, but it's not a bad headphone. Man, it's definitely one of it. Yeah, it's about as neutral as it gets at its price point. I feel like in some ways, depends on the target curve you're after. That's really hard. Like I said, closed back headphones is such a, that market's missing so many things. And people go, it's because people say open back is better than closed back, and in many ways it is. But I feel like that's stifled the need for people to, or stifled the idea that people need to continue developing closed backs. I think that closed backs could be very good if we put more time into developing them. Because closed back headphones are some of the best headphones I enjoy sometimes. Like at $100, I enjoy the K361 more than most of the open backs in the $100 price point. The open back soundstage better, but soundstage isn't everything. Nice affordable tube amp, Little Dot Mark II, followed by the Dark Voice 336 SE. But the Little Dot Mark II is pretty affordable for a tube amp. It's about as cheap as you can get while really getting a good dose of the tube magic, so to speak. There's not a ton of tubes to roll on it, but tube rolling is really cheap on it. Excuse me. I had tubes linked in my recent video about the Little Dot Mark II. If you want to check that out, there's some tubes linked there that sound pretty nice with it. Recent 1266 owner, congratulations. Is Formula S the only way to go? How much worse than the GSX Mini? Or how much worse is the GSX Mini? Temporary is running the Magnus. Okay, Formula S isn't the only way to go. It is a really good amp. It comes down to preference. The GSX Mini, I think, is like one of the best sounding ways to run it, but if you like to listen really loud, the GSX Mini will run out of power with 1266, and that's where the Formula S will overtake it. If you don't listen really loud, I almost prefer the sound of the GSX Mini, but the Formula S was designed for use with the 1266, so it kind of goes both ways. GSX Mini is kind of one of my favorite amps on the planet, period, though. They actually sell it at Abyss, and they also, like the guys who made the Diana and Diana-Fi, use the GSX Mini at home as their at-home amplifiers. The guy who owns the company, though, he uses a Formula S, so it goes back and forth. They're both really good options. You're not going to go wrong either way. I wouldn't stress about it too much. What kind of car do you drive? Lexus IS250, and I love it. Do you have a good sound system in it? It's the stock sound system. I would love to upgrade it at some point, but I haven't had the time yet, and it's just a really expensive process. There is some really good car audio out there, but most of it's aftermarket. Audio isn't usually my priority when I buy a car. I care about like the quality of the interior, how it handles, stuff like that. Because audio can be upgraded. You can't, you know, without spending a lot of money, you can't just make a car suddenly handle completely differently or have a completely different interior. So, plus I just kind of love the way Toyota builds things and Toyota makes Lexus. GL2000, I did talk about it a little bit in the sense that I've just said I'm not going to talk about it until the review comes out. But there is a review coming. I'm just taking my time with it. I know everybody's excited about it right now, but soon. I'm going to run in just a few minutes because I need to eat. So I'll answer a few more questions, and then we're going to run out of here, okay? So I'll try and get what I can. If you guys, let me know real quick, comment if you want me to do more of these, because I will do more live streams. I'll do these like weekly if you guys want me to, if you think it's fun. So let me know if you think it's fun, and if it is, then maybe like every weekend or something, maybe I'll do this. Maybe we'll just sit down and have a chat, you and me. Looking for a pair of powered desktop speakers. Any recommendations? Either the iLoud Micro, or if you have a higher budget than that, iLoud MTM. And if you need a lot of bass, maybe the Vanatu Transparent 1 Encore. But the iLoud MTMs are fantastic, and so are the iLoud Micros. Okay, it looks like a lot of you do want more live streams. So we will do more live streams. Calvin says, I'll vouch for the Element 2 with clears, but the Element 2 is also only the best amp DAC I've ever owned. I think it's great. I love that thing. 70s car. I did have a 70s car once, and I loved the 70s car also. But it would have gotten destroyed up here in the salty, snowy roads of Buffalo. So all-wheel drive with the Lexus, and I do like that. What happened to the hi-fi mic for headphones? The video got messed up. I'm going to have to refilm the video. But I was getting like distortion and clipping and weird sounds, and it was my recording software, so I re-uploaded it with a disclaimer, and then YouTube jumbled the last half of the video altogether, so I just gotta refilm it. The mic is great. I love this mic. They have wired versions too. It's a good mic. I recommend this. Ugh. I am an Atom owner, says Marco. Should I do Asgard 3 for first class A or Little Dot for next year? It depends on the headphones you're running it with. If you're going with a high impedance headphone, then I would say go with a Little Dot. And then if you're not doing a high impedance headphone, try the Class A. Like if you're using like mostly planars and stuff, I would go with a Class A amp. But if you're using like 6XX, 58X, 560S, stuff like that, go with the Little Dot Mark II. You're a new owner of Argon Mark III. Nice. After much recommendation from the entire community, balance on 789 acceptable? Yeah, absolutely. 789, like I complain about the 789 sometimes because I say it's harsh, but it is still a good amp. Yeah, that's fine. I think I like the Argon a little bit more still on the Element 2, but you could totally use it on a 789 and get more power out of it. So it all depends on what you're going for. If I tried the headphone with the extended headband, not since they extended the headband, no. I'd like to at some point. I hated the 990 Pro, but love the 300R, but they have very similar frequency response. It's another interesting case where headphones can measure very similar, but sound very different. And I'm not sure if it's the presentation, if it's the driver technology, what it is, but the 990 Pro just sounds so much more harsh to me than the 300R, even side by side. And I can't tell you exactly why that is, but they just didn't sound the same. Will I ever review the AKG K240? I'd like to. There's a lot of things I'd like to review, I just haven't had the time to get around to it. Eventually, yeah. Clear versus Stelia. Clear. I didn't like the Stelia, I'm gonna be honest. Sorry. Stelia was just whacked out tuning. Metal 571 has a couple K240s. You can send one. Fantastic. Whenever I'm less busy, yes. All right, couple more, and then I'm going to run. Let's see. Sitting here on the 300R, thanks for your review of them. I hope you enjoy them, because I certainly still do. Review the iLoud MTM since I rated it so highly. I should. I really should. It's another thing that I always want to talk about, and I always recommend to people, but just haven't had time to film the video yet. What do I use on the go without ANC? Right now, these. The IE300s that are coming out soon. I just love them. I love them. They fit my ears so well. They're so tiny. Look at these little things. Fantastic. Mark says, Mark says, where are open-back wireless gaming headsets? Should I use a 3.5mm adapter instead? Yeah, the problem is wireless gaming headsets often aren't great. Man, I haven't found a wireless gaming headset that I really enjoyed. They either have latency or they're just tuned really weird. It's tough. The only gaming headsets that I've reviewed that I really liked was the PC38X. As unfortunate as that is. But the PC38X is just so good that I feel like almost every other option you have for gaming is just a compromise. Which is crazy because it's cheap. Any interest in reviewing your Cayenne C9 portable tube amp? Yeah. I would like to review that, actually. The thing is wicked looking. What in the world is happening with this thing? That's got all kinds of crazy... It's got, okay, 4.4 millimeter. I think everything needs 4.4 millimeter. 4.4 is a wicked connection. It's like, it's more sturdy than 3.5... Here's one right here. It's more sturdy than 3.5 millimeter. But you still get a balanced connection. It doesn't add too much size to amps. I like this connection. More things should use 4.4 millimeter. So a balanced 4.4 millimeter tube amp. That is wicked. And a portable one. Yeah, but how do they sound with the IEMs? I'll have a full review on them, so I'll tell you more about it then, but... Yes, I like them a lot. Oh, how does the little dot go with the 560S? Yeah, it goes great with it. I prefer the little dot Mark II in the dark voice a lot more with the 560S, especially if you tube roll. And I think that the price of the Mark II over the Mark I is worth it, truth be told. That's true. JDS Element 2 does not have optical in. But you could get the EL Amp 2 and the EL DAC 2, which is basically the same thing as the Element 2, only they're separated into a stack, and that does have optical in, and you still get that great sound that you would normally get with the Element 2. Best headphone for speed and dynamic slam? That's hard. I mean, if you're saying best, we're going to be talking the multi-$1,000 range again. So, I will sound like a fanboy and keep resorting back to my 1266s, but if I was not going to say those... That's so hard. So many headphones do bass in weird ways. Maybe Aria does bass pretty well. Aria's pretty good. Alex or 560S? Depends on what you're after. 560S, I think, is more accurate. Alex is definitely more fun. It has more punchy bass. I'd say Alex is definitely more detailed than 560S, but 560S is that nice flat tuning. Best soundstage under 1,000? Maybe, again, I'll defer to an EQ'd ESP95X. Has incredible soundstage. If you pull back 1.2 kilohertz just a little bit. Alright. This has been going for a while. I 100% need to go eat. I need to get some stuff done. We've been going for an hour and 18 minutes, and it's been fun. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up here for the day. And let's plan on doing this again, like next week, if that sounds good for you guys. Oh, I got one more here. Morgan. Hey DMS, love the content. Keep it up, please. I will. Thank you. Thank you for contributing to the channel. I appreciate that. We'll do more of these. I will do more of these live streams. It's fun to sit down and answer questions. It makes me run out of breath, but I do enjoy it. And I kind of like hearing the things that you guys are using and the things that you're considering and all the kind of crazy setups that you're running out there, because you see a lot of really cool stuff. Anyway, all right. I'm going to get off here. Guys, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. I will have another video out on Thursday, so I'll see you guys then. And then we'll try to do a live stream, say, next weekend, maybe same day. So that'll be that. Friday or Saturday, something like that. Sorry, Saturday or Sunday, something like that. But yeah, let's give it the regular old YouTube video style outro. So if you like this video, please leave a like down below. Comment, let me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can at forum.hifiguides.com. And as always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Until the next one, guys.